1 year ago this week, Superstorm Sandy slammed into the Northeast, affecting millions of Americans. I was happy to be able to talk to Al Roker about his experience with the storm. Take us back to the days leading up to Sandy. What do you remember about how the forecast came together?
Well, I think the most startling thing that I remember is everybody looking at the European model and how far ahead it was of that left turn over the American models, and thinking, wow, if this really happens, this is going to be really, really bad. And as it happened, as we all know, it did exactly that. Eventually, the other models came into agreement with the European model, and our worst case scenarios came true. In fact, it was worse than our worst case scenarios.
It sure was. Having experienced so many storms, Al, what struck you about this storm that made it so unique?
Well, just how huge it was and how much it affected the East Coast. I mean, it really changed topography. It brought a major metropolitan area to its knees. The fires that resulted from it, wiping out whole communities. It really had impacts beyond what one would expect with a hurricane. And still, a year later, still does. Absolutely.
Al, as a New Yorker, you saw this city through the storm, the aftermath, the cleanup. What did you learn about New York?
Well, we learned out of Sandy just how vulnerable we are. We never thought that this could happen. And this wasn't the worst that it could have been. I mean, if we had had a bigger storm surge, if the system had come on shore a little further, I mean, the devastation to the infrastructure, while it was bad, it could have been 10 times worse. So I think it was a major wake-up call to folks up and down the eastern seaboard about how vulnerable we really are.
All right, Al Roker, thank you so much for taking the time with us today. I'm Matt Sampson, the Weather Channel.